Welcome to the Artful Minds by the Atelier magazine, where we plug into the pulse of creation.
Good morning, Meghu. Megalai Senthilkumar. It is we have used of calling you by Meghu. So just giving you an introduction to Atelier. So this is a magazine which we have started to involve art in all perspectives. And this is our first issue, which has been already done during the month of March. To say a word about Megalai Senthilkumar, she's a writer, entrepreneur, and a cultural enthusiast who believes in preserving heritage through her stories. That is how I feel that she's connected to her art. And as a managing director of LBN Technology Tech Solutions Private Limited, I always seen your work in a way that you always give value to traditions, whether it's in designs or when you talk about the subject. I have seen that. Um, so welcome, Miku. And I would like you to talk about yourself or your love for art in a minute.
Thank you so much, Beena, for this wonderful platform which you have started, and giving me the opportunity to contribute for the first ever issue. And this is going to be a great success. Whatever you touch, it will be a success. I know, knowing you, and Devi's blessings on you. I'm deeply honored to be here on this interview with you, and I'm looking forward to your questions.
After so many years, what inspired to share this deeply personal painting and story with this world? Because it's not recently which has come to your life. I think it's part of your life. So what inspired?
What inspired me is my mother is a Tanjore painting artist. So when you spoke to me about art, immediately Tanjore painting only came into my mind because I have learned how to paint this form of painting from my mother. So I was thinking, why not write about this art form, which I know personally, which I have actually done it. Then I thought, okay, the world knows about Tanjore painting, and most of them know about the usual pieces of Tanjore painting, like it is always Krishna or Shiva or Ganesha or Murugan, or it is Dashawataram or Pattabhishekam or Meenakshi Kalyanam. But I am sure that many wouldn't have actually seen Manmada in a Tanjore painting. So I thought your magazine can be a platform which can talk about this Manmada unusual piece in the Tanjore painting. So that is why I wrote about it, because there is something beautiful, inherently beautiful in Manmada in Hindu mythology, which I will tell about later. So that is why I chose this painting to be shared in that magazine.
Absolutely. When you said Tanjore painting, for me also it is Lord Krishna, all that went to my mind. But even me, while doing Tanjore painting, I always looked at in a different perspective. I did Tipu Sultan. I really wanted to do it very different. And choosing Manmada, it's a great subject because for me also it has passed through my paintings.
Right.
Um, she could have 100 reasons to choose Manmada as a warrior.
Yes.
What do you think in this interpretation? Because that interpretation makes a value today, because every art, while we paint, it may be very different. When a person interpret, it is will be a totally different plane.
Yes.
And what do you think this interpretation says about love in our lives today?
Manmada, first, there are two parts to this question, so I'll answer the first part first, Beena. Manmada as a warrior. He is seen as a warrior, but not exactly as a warrior, as a soldier who has fought battles. Okay, so he is portrayed here with a bow and arrow, just like any other warrior of yesteryears. But this bow is made out of sugarcane, the bow of a sugarcane, and the arrow is made out of flowers. Okay, so basically, this warrior is a very gentle warrior, a warrior for love. Okay, the story goes, this is not a story, this is there in Shiva Puranam and Skanda Puranam and many other Puranams which you must be aware of. Manmada is actually given a task by Lord Brahma, and he is given a task to go to Shiva, who is in deep penance, and aim his arrow at Shiva to disturb his penance. So that Skanda will be born. And Skanda is to be born in this world to vanquish Surapadma, one of the Asuras, who was actually creating a havoc in the world. So that is why Brahma gives this task and he goes all the way to Kailasa. And he knows that it is his last task. He knows that he will be punished for this by Shiva by disturbing, but still he goes. He goes and he takes his bow and he disturbs his yaga, his penance. And then we all know that the fire came out of his third eye and burned him down. So he was gone. He was gone just a matter of minutes. So that is why he is portrayed as a warrior, but warrior for love. And the reason why is the Skanda has to be born. So Amma's painting was portraying that because parrot is his Vahana, and the five the pictures. I mean, you can actually see those five ladies within the parrot, which actually talks about Rati, his consorts, qualities. Okay, so and the other part like love in our lives today. So that question is a very important question because I feel that this story is still relevant today. The love between Manmata and Rati is even relevant today because now in these times, sometimes love is fleeting, sometimes love is selfish, sometimes people give up and move on. Okay, they don't want it. There is no perseverance. This story, tells the story of perseverance. I think this interpretation is very valid in our lives for a love story, which is forever.
That's so beautiful, Meghu. I also believe that love, even Manmada, after knowing that he is going to be destroyed in seconds, once he does his job, but his love and passion for what he is born or what is that his energy is used for, he was ready. I feel that is also love. Today,
Yeah,
you even your job, what you do, till the time you have that aspect of love towards it, more than relationships. Yes,
exactly.
everything that you do, I feel even to your God, till the time
Yes.
you don't have that factor love, things don't, you will not be able to see it in a very different way. And it's absolutely beautiful said. And the story narrated was nice to hear from you. Actually, this painting is a blend of art, mythology, history. What do you think it teaches us the role of women in preserving culture across generation? Why I said this women? Because the actress is a painter. Even Manmada Reddy play a great, role in his life. And today, like you telling the story, not only this story, I've seen you like, going to all the temples. You take that pain of telling the stories. How important is that, or and being a woman, how important is your role as a woman to do this?
The woman is always the pivot in the family. So, however, times are changing now. The roles are reversed in many families, but still, in most families, it is the woman who's donning the role of continuing these traditions and teaching these traditions and culture and values for the generations, for her generations. Like the grandmother, seats the grandchild on in her lap and tells all these mythological stories. From there it starts. Then the mother, she her role as taking care of the house as well as going out. Nowadays it is a dual role, she wears multiple hats. That is how times have changed, but still she does certain things which perpetuates this culture. I think that's a very, very important thing. Like for me personally, I think that the traditions, for me, Pongal is very important. Deepavali is these are the festivals, the Hindu festivals, South Indian festivals. In the Pongal especially, I make sure that I follow what my ancestors followed. I don't want to, water it down because there is a reason, there is a scientific reason for which they followed. So I've actually written a very elaborate blog because I'm worried that this this will die out and go away. So I bring in my writing also so that somewhere it is recorded, somewhere for someone it is useful, like that, those kind of things I bring it. And I also feel that my grandson, I teach him a lot about all these stories and actually bring it to the present day, why it is relevant. Because these kids, why should I know about all this? This happened so many years ago, but as a woman, I mean, as a grandmother, as a mother, what I do is I bring the relevance. Why should they learn all these things? How to bring the relevance? That I bring that. And of course, all the festivals, it is the woman-centric festival, right? Whether it is the Pongal, Deepavali, Janmashtami, Navaratri, artistic creations, you light a lamp, you draw the kolam, you sing songs, you wear the traditional attire, like I'm wearing my silk sari, which my mother-in-law wore, because this is deeply personal for me. These are the traditions. The sari, I wish it never dies because that's my favorite attire. So, and the traditional jewelry also. So many things we have, so many treasures we have. All this has to go to the next generation. And as a proud woman, I will take it forward. I will
Thank
take
you
it.
so much, Meghu, for that initiative. Yes, we sometimes do our responsibilities as a mother, grandmother, but you have gone one step ahead of, taking to the another generation. As you said, it if it's somewhere in that, space,
Yeah,
because now it's a digital era, it need to be somewhere. Some seekers will come someday to read that, in
yeah,
different
yeah.
ways. Today it's you and tomorrow it's someone. It's so important to take this forward. But this is like, on a very personal level, but as an entrepreneur and a managing director of a tech company, it's totally different from your basic character. How do you personally bridge the gap between the tradition and the innovation? Because in the world of AI, things are, absolutely changing, especially when it comes to preserving and sharing the family art or, stories like this. Yeah, that's a method of doing, but I would like to know, how will you bridge the gap today of tradition and innovation in the technical area, in the AI era? How do you do that?
I think, being interested in art and culture and heritage and, having a knowledge in technology is an advantage, because through this tech, I'm able to, take it to the next generation because we have so many platforms now, which was not there earlier. Like my mother's painting, it portrayed, what it portrayed. It was there in some Saraswati Mahal somewhere in Tanjore, in some dusty old book. It was there, but technology is bringing all this outside, right? So who can travel to that particular museum and actually look up and get all this knowledge, and we can make it bite sized because the attention is so it is so fleeting nowadays. So we can make it bite sized and make it very interesting in the form of reels. I feel that I can use technology in a very effective way, to promote my passion of Indian culture and heritage. I think it's an advantage, and I feel these stories are like data with a soul. This is just not mere data; it has a soul also.
Yeah, it's so beautiful because it's important to bridge this, because people has to be in the other generation to the new generation. That bridge is involved, important, and we can only talk to them in an innovative language. In their
Yeah,
language, they understand. It becomes
exactly,
easy for them to, tell that stories in their language than forcing them to go back. It's so important.
exactly.
Yeah, and I'm so happy you are. Doing that. And thank you so much for bringing Manmada, to the foreground of discussing on a discussion platform. I know 15 minutes is very less for a subject like Manmada. We can go on and on,
Yes.
but to keep it cut short, I just have some rapid fire questions for you.
Okay, great, great.
Tanjore painting or Maratha painting? What's your
Tanjore, Tanjore, because I love the embellishments. The stones, the
Okay.
gold.
Okay. Again, it is more of culture art, even though Maratha paintings also look almost similar, but I feel that effect is much more in a Tanjore painting.
Exactly.
Gold leaf or gemstone?
I feel gold leaf because gemstones can be skipped. And if you're doing it commercially, gemstones make it more expensive. But gold leaf is needed because it's a hallmark of a Tanjore painting. So gold leaf.
Manmada or Rati?
It is Rati because her devotion, her emotional strength, her perseverance, even after he becomes, ashes, she goes and does penance and goes and asks the boon from Shiva. So Rati, for her perseverance and for love, and for her, desire is not shameful, it is sacred. For that one reason, Rati.
One word that describes your mother as an artist.
Oh, she's a perfectionist. She's a perfectionist. She'll never compromise on quality. That's one of her qualities.
A mythological tale you would love to see reimagined in art.
I feel, Beena, that stories from the Devaram has such fascinating stories, and they are all true stories because they are authenticated by inscriptions as well as palm leaf manuscripts. But it has not been taken into main stage. Like for example, a dance drama or even on art forms.
Okay.
Stories from the Devaram, like the story of Pumbabe. Probably because we are short of time, so I cannot explain, the stories in detail. But there are some beautiful stories from the Devaram, which I would like,
Okay.
to come into mainstream art.
Favorite place in Tamil Nadu for artistic inspiration?
That's a very tough one. There are several. Okay, I feel it is. I can choose three: Kailasanatha Temple at Kanchipuram, Veerataneswara Temple at Tirubadigai. These two inspired Rajaraja Chola to build the Brihadiswara Temple
Oh,
at Tanjore. So these two.
a color you associate with love.
It's red roses, right? Red.
Parrot, elephant, or a horse? Which
It's horse because I love the strength, the grace, the beauty, the loyalty, and of course the agile horse.
art gallery or a tech expo? Where would you find you on a weekend?
On a weekend, it's definitely art gallery, not only art, but talks on culture, history, mythology, heritage walks. Okay. For me, it's tech on a weekday and art in the weekend. That's me.
I thank you so much, Megu. Talking to you in a 15 minutes, it's impossible. But I will have a request for you. Small stories about what you would like to say as a small stories. We should involve in our magazines because that's a place which we should spread it out as stories. At least people will read, and I really welcome you to do that. And thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for your timing.
Thank
And
you. Thank you so much.
this is what I think I can share. Yes, I normally don't get so much of time to read yours because I know there's so much of depth. When I do something, I really want to go in deep, and I always keep okay. This is for tomorrow. This is for tomorrow because Tamil Nadu temples, like it's absolutely beautiful, and the time you're taking for your culture journey is appreciable. Thank you, Megu. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Beena. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I love talking even 15 minutes. Of course, thank you for this window of time to
Thank
speak my heart. Thank you.